The 100i is a starter ship of Star Citizen. Released in version 3.11, the 100i is produced by Origin Jumpworks, a manufacturer known for the stylish design and luxury refinements of its ships. And indeed, the 100i embodies Origin's ethos in a starter ship package. It's stylish, sleek and incorporates cutting-edge technologies. But is that enough to make it a good starter ship? Hi, I'm Joru5 and in this video I'll tell you what I like, what I don't like, my final verdict and what I will do to improve the 100i. If you are not familiar with the concept of starter ships, I recommend watching my Drake Cutter video for a complete rundown on the topic. In a nutshell, starter ships are meant to be affordable, versatile and no larger than size 3. Now, for a better understanding of the 100i, we must take a look at the manufacturer's philosophy. Origin Jumpworks was originally founded in 2750 in Cologne, but was then relocated to New Austin on Terra, making the city almost entirely Origin branded and attracting an exclusive customer base from among the wealthy and powerful. As Origin sales representatives often point out, choosing an Origin design doesn't just mean buying a ship, it means choosing a lifestyle. The 100i is part of the 100 series, a budget-friendly lineup designed to appeal to a broader audience. Within the series there are 3 variants: the 125A as the light fighter option, the 135C for light freight, and the 100i, which serves as both a touring and starter ship. And now it's time to find out what I like about the 100i. Aesthetics. The 100i sports a yacht-like aesthetic, a hallmark of Origin Jumpworks. Even if this particular style isn't to your taste, it's undeniable that Origin delivers some of the classiest ships on the market. Size 1. The 100i is hangar size 1, which lets you claim the ship at ground vehicle pads. This feature becomes particularly useful for creating boxes. Here's how it works. You land in a mining area and fill the ship with whatever you find. Then park the ship just outside their mist zone and self-destruct it. This will spawn a large box containing all the stuff you just looted. Next, claim another 100i at the ground vehicle pad and load the box into it. And yes, this box barely fits. The trick is to place it just on the bed. These large boxes are excellent for farming various loot, like armor and weapons. In a single defend mission, you could accumulate enough gear to earn thousands of additional credits. Air fuel system. All ships in the 100 series come equipped with the Origin's air system, an advanced fuel scoop technology. For those unfamiliar with the concept, fuel scooping allows the ship to refill its hydrogen tank by extracting and refining hydrogen from the atmosphere. This significantly extends the ship's range and reduces operating costs. As of now, the air system stands as the most efficient fuel scoop available. It even refills the hydrogen tank when the ship is landed. From my experience, the 100i indeed has low operating costs. I've never landed with an empty hydrogen tank, and refueling typically costs just a few tens of credits. Headlights. The 100i comes equipped with excellent headlights, a feature that, in my opinion, adds great value to a ship, especially a starter one. Interestingly, its headlights are even more powerful than those on its larger siblings of the 300 series. Entrance. The entrance of the 100i is simple and effective. Entering the ship is easy, even when carrying boxes up to size 3. I also like the sound and animation of the door. It should be noted that when the ladder is fully extended, it seems to lift the ship. Claim time. The 100i has a low claim time, making it one of the fastest ships to get back into action. This feature is particularly useful in a starter ship, which might be the only ship a new player owns. While starting out with a larger ship might be appealing, waiting more than 10 minutes for a claim can be both annoying and costly if you choose to expedite. Stock configuration. The 100i is a simple touring ship, so the features that really matter are having a decent quantum drive, which it has. On the weapon side, the 100i comes with 2 gimbal size 2 laser cannons, which are already a good choice for this ship, so the stock configuration of the 100i is good enough and doesn't really need any upgrades. Almost gold. The 100i is close to the gold standard when it comes to component accessibility, although you can't interact with them yet. It's also noteworthy the absence of a weapon rack. Despite it's not a combat-oriented ship, at least a pistol holder near the entrance would have been a useful addition. And now, the things I don't like about the 100i. Internals. The interior of the 100i leaves much to be desired. It's cold and uninspiring, almost like a doctor's office. It has only one bed and lacks any additional amenities. It is my firm belief that if you add a bed in a spaceship, then you must also include at least a sink and a toilet. Package price. The price of the game package that includes the 100i sits between the C8X, the Cutter and the Titan. This is problematic because the 100i doesn't offer any real advantages when compared to those ships. Let's see why. The C8X, like the 100i, is size 1 ship, so it can be claimed at ground vehicle pads, making it easy to create size 3 boxes. But the Anvil starter is better suited to handle those size 3 boxes and can even carry 2 passengers. Yes, it lacks a logout bed, but personally I'd rather have more space than a bed with no other amenities. The Cutter is a newer ship that already meets the gold standard. It comes with a weapon rack, can carry land vehicles and offers 2 extra SCUs of cargo. It also has better accommodations, including a toilet, sink and shower. Additionally, if you are interested in combat, the 100i is not much better than the C8X and Cutter. With a little more investment, you can get a Titan. The Titan offers superior combat capabilities, better flight performance, can carry a land vehicle and has room for 8 SCUs of cargo. Unused space. In terms of performance, the components installed in the 100 series variants are essentially the same. The only notable difference is that the 100i comes with civilian parts, the 125A with military parts, and the 135C with industrial parts. But in the current version of the game, they perform the same. What really distinguishes each variant is the use of the rear space. The 135C has an additional cargo bay, increasing its cargo capacity to 6 SCUs. The 125A uses this space to carry 4 additional size 2 missiles, and in the 100i, well, in the touring variant the rear space is completely unused. This may be acceptable from a gameplay perspective, but given that Star Citizen is meant to be a space simulator, it's just an unrealistic design choice. No engineer will ever waste valuable space. In the case of the 100i, that space could have been used to prioritize comfort and convenience by adding much needed amenities. Worst of all, even a small tweak to the ship's stats could have implied some sort of use of that space. For example, by giving the 100i a larger quantum and hydrogen tanks. In the verdict section of this video, I will tell you how I would have used that space. Flight model. I have some reservation about the 100i's flight model. The acceleration can be sudden and requires a careful hand on the throttle. Stopping the ship isn't as quick as I'd like, and I often find myself reversing the ship to decelerate faster. Additionally, despite its sleek and aerodynamic appearance, its atmospheric flight leaves something to be desired. At some point in the future, control surfaces will be added to the game, which should improve the 100i atmospheric maneuverability. but for now its atmospheric handling is problematic beyond SEM speed. I may sound a bit too harsh, the 100i doesn't have significant maneuverability issues, but it's also far from being as smooth to pilot as I think it should be, especially in combat, where aiming and maneuvering feels awkward due to its tendency to start each maneuver slowly and then suddenly speed up. Screens. The screen placement in the 100i cockpit is puzzling. It has 4 screens, 2 of which are situated on the sides. While other ships like the CX have a similar layout, the screens in the 100i are too far apart for convenient viewing or interaction. What's even more frustrating is that the cockpit has ample space to allow for all 4 screens to be easily visible. Final verdict. Before we get to the final verdict, don't forget to like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Subscribing is a win-win for both of us. I need your support to keep the channel running and keep these reviews coming, and you get notified as soon as new reviews are out. Thank you very much for your support. Now, there is no doubt that the 100i is a sleek and visually appealing entry-level ship, perhaps the most attractive in its class. However, its classification as a touring ship seems misplaced, given its bare-bones interior with only a bed and no additional amenities for a comfortable trip. And when it comes to value, the price of the 100i game package is hard to justify. For slightly less, a new player could own a CX or a cutter, and for a bit more a Titan or a Nomad, all of which offer greater versatility and a more feature-rich experience. The 100i even lacks the smooth maneuverability you might expect from the sleek Origin design. For all these reasons, my final verdict on the 100i is 4 out of 10. The main factor that drove down the score for the 100i is the unused space in the back of the ship. In a game like Star Citizen, which strives for a realistic space simulation experience, the failure to utilize available space on a ship feels like a significant oversight. It's especially frustrating when you consider how easy it would have been to imply the use of such space, for example by giving the 100i larger quantum and hydrogen tanks. Doubling the quantum tank of the 100i would have brought its quantum range closer to that of the cutter, allowing the use of faster quantum drives such as the VK00. Other aspects that contributed to a lower score are the cold and sterile feel of the interior, which doesn't match the luxury it's supposed to represent, and the cost of the starter pack that includes the 100i, which is higher than those that include the cutter and CX. The frustration stems from the 100i's promising concept, a size 1 luxury touring vessel, but the execution seems rushed and uninspired, leaving a wealth of untapped potential. So I have hypothesized 3 possible modifications, each of increasing complexity. The most basic modification would be to simply double the quantum capacity of the ship to justify the use of the aft space. An additional modification to improve on the first would be to add some basic amenities to the ship, by making the bed fold up to reveal a small bath, a sink, and why not even a top opening microwave, and finally to use warmer lights inside the ship. The cool thing about this modification is that it could be applied to all variants of the 100 series. A more radical intervention would be to use the rear space to provide proper accommodation by organizing the interior space as follows. A futon-like bed is placed in the rear of the ship, requiring the passenger to crawl to lie on it. A toilet cabinet and component asses are placed side by side, occupying half of the ship's width. A sliding door could be placed to increase privacy and security. Finally, a small galley and 1 SU of cargo space could be placed directly after the component asses. All of these changes, especially the last one, are designed to make the 100i the light cruiser it deserves to be. And what about you? What do you think of the one under eye and what improvements would you like to see? Let me know in the comments. In the next episode, the C8X. Can you guess what I like and what I don't? Until next time, see you in the verse.